What is going on, guys? Ultimate Deadpool here, back with a slightly different video than what you guys are probably used to. So for those of you who are my probably older viewers, will know more about this stuff, but for newer viewers, stick around. I love taking things apart and reconfiguring them, or taking two different things that should never go together and forcing them to go together. And we have 7 examples of that right in front of you right now. These are all RC cars. They all work. And they all have special light up features, except for this one. We'll get into that in a little bit. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Oh, and we're going to save the Batmobile for later in this video. So if you guys want to see all the cool shit that I've done to this particular RC car, stick around. Okay, so a little bit of a history lesson, I guess you could say. Way back when I was a kid, my dad used to have a 1980 Pontiac Firebird that he turned into a Trans Am, which is basically what this car is right here. And as you can tell, this was actually a Dom Toretto 68 Dodge Charger from the movie Fast 9. I actually have several of these model kits that are RC kits that I converted into stuff like this, which is basically what this entire video is about. So if you guys actually want me to show you guys step by step how to do something like this, it's extremely easy to do, but it also takes a lot of time and patience. So especially to get it looking this nice. I built this for my father last Christmas. He is still not taken it out of the box, but it has a custom. Well, I stress the word custom. It has a special print for the controller. Special custom made Trans Am shell. There is actually a on the actual model kit that I used for the Trans Am, it has a shaker like this on the hood and T-tops, and I painstakingly filled and puttied and everything else over the top and the hood to cover those parts up. So if I were to take this shell off and flip it, you'd be able to see the T-tops all over here and the shaker on the hood. I sealed all those up because my dad's Trans Am did not actually have those parts. It was a hardtop Trans Am with a hardtop hood. No shaker, no T-tops, no nothing. But it did look exactly like this. It had the, turbine spoked rims. It had the silver pinstriping and stuff everywhere. It looked great, and it looked basically just like this. So this one does not light up because I did not have time to wire up any LEDs for this particular one. But all in all, it's not bad. It does work. So, but he has not used it yet because we've been so busy lately around the house. He just hasn't had time to do anything with it, so it's been literally sitting around collecting dust. So let's move on. Okay, so I'm going to get my family member stuff done first. This is one I did for my sister last year for her birthday. Same scenario. She has a customized remote controller that does work. So, and then underneath we've got all the wonderful LED lights around here and all up in here. And see, if you look really closely, you can actually see where where the original shell from the Charger was and the shell for the Trans Am was glued together. Same scenario, just like my dad's RC car. I went ahead and painted and filled in all of the parts up here, made it look nice and pretty. Although the model kit came with them, and I just tinted them black to make it look more RC-ish. And then same thing, I just filled in the windows and whatnot. She uses this thing quite a bit. That's why it looks, beat up and whatnot. Because my sister's just turned 10 years old this year, so she uses this thing quite a bit. The original setup was there was a switch right here, and then that switch turned on the lights, and then there was another switch elsewhere that turned on the lights. But basically, the new switch is right here. Turn the lights on, boom, the headlights go on, and the taillights go on. So the taillights don't look as good because it's a 3-volt coin battery thing that powers these, which makes these bright because these are 3-volt blue LEDs because she insisted on having blue LED lights. And then her tail lights are actually 9 volts, so they don't shine as bright. Plus, red is a darker color, or usually dimmer color than most other LED colors as is. So you turn the switch on, it works seamlessly and actually functions and does what an RC car is actually supposed to do, with the glory of having this wonderful shell over it instead of a 68 Dodge Charger. So, yes, let's now go on to my RC cars. Okay, so slight confession on this. This is actually 2 different RC cars fused together. A while back, I don't remember what company did it, but they made a Knight Rider RC car that had a giant freaking antenna coming out the back right here. And it had front lights and stuff that went around here. And the scanner worked as well. I actually found out that the dimension, the wheelbase for the 68 Charger from Fast 9 actually fit that exact same shell. So what I did is I basically took 2 different cars and built one out of 2 and came up with this. So this is basically exactly what Kit looked like in the Knight Rider TV show. The way his battery compartment works is it's actually in the charging compartment, so you have to open the flap, hit the button, the lights come on, and voila. So it's not as extravagant as the other ones that you're going to see later, especially not the Batmobile. But it does what it's supposed to do, and this is exactly what it did in the original TV show. So you know what? I'm happy with it. It does what it needs to do, and it looks pretty damn good doing it. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this one. Extremely easy to do. You just have to simply have time, patience, and a little bit of something to put the 2 pieces back together once you've cut them up. Okay, so this one I actually have to redo at some point because this is what I want my future actual Trans Am car to look like at some point. The Knight Rider style bowling ball rims, 1979 shell, T-tops, you know, this particular bird on the hood and whatnot. I kind of rushed this one, and I did not really take my time on it. As you can tell, I didn't even really bother finishing it. So at some point, this is going to get redone in the future. But same scenario, lights on the bottom, lights in the front. And this one has a little bit of different features because this has 2 different this is a kill switch altogether. So you turn that kill switch, 4 of the tail lights come on. This actual switch triggers the rest of the lights, giving it a full rear LED system, and then the actual turn signals and the headlights as well. So in terms of quality, this is great. In terms of actual, I guess you could say, craftsmanship, it sucks because I used the wrong kind of spray paint for this. And it did not work. So I actually have to redo this at some point in the future. I'm just going to start over and do another one. And then that kill switch kills the entire thing. And ignore the this thing here. The battery for some reason kept falling off. So I just said screw it and put 2 screws right there. Holding the battery in place. So until I can upgrade it to a coin battery feature, that's going to have to work for now. So, yeah, that's basically the Hell Bandit. Okay, so this requires a little bit of explaining. So, little did I know that every single light kit that I got for these RC car conversions or builds or whatever came with one LED that mimicked police lights. And me and my siblings, we do this type of stuff all the time, so this is nothing new. And I've always wanted to build a police car like this because I just thought that'd be so fun, you know, having a cop or whatever chase all the other cars and bumping into them and blah blah blah. It's so fun. It's fun enough for us. So this one is obviously not one of my better ones because, you know, you can clearly see the top is not as well T-top covered as my dad's car that I built for him is. I did not do the side windows like I probably should have. And the paint job on the black part is obviously not as good as it could be. So I realized the battery was not plugged in. So I didn't want to look completely stupid when I turned on the switch and it didn't do anything. So, and then as you can look at the bottom of it, you can see a whole bunch of expansion foam that I used to glue the two pieces together, because that's what this is. And then just the overall, the white paint job just did not transfer over well. The black paint job did not work all that well, because again, I used the wrong kind of black paint for it. And the police lights on the top do not look all that great. The Firebird looks great, but and then since I live in Dallas, it says Dallas, Texas Police Department, in a hilarious Crossbones shotgun double thing, which looks fun, and then it has police on it. So this one's not as, again, is not as glamorous as the other ones will, especially the Batmobile, but it too has the yellow turn signals. It did have working headlights, but for some reason they stopped working. And then it had, same thing, had working taillights. Those for some reason stopped working. But it does have working police lights, which look really cool. But other than that, it's a generic RC car project. This thing is basically meant to just get smashed or bump into other cars, so I don't really care what it looks like. Okay, so this is actually a Dodge Charger, modeled after one of the cars that I designed in one of our Forza Horizon games. Not every single one of our Forza Horizon games. This is the Mad Max Dukes of Hazzard General Lee car. So for those of you who don't know what Dukes of Hazzard is, it was basically around two guys that were cousins, and they were race car drivers, and this is basically what their race car looked like, minus all the excess crap on it. It was an orange 69 Charger with turbine rims, an 01, the Rebel flag on the top, and the words General Lee written on the side, and the 01 on both sides, and a push guard on the front of the car. It was a really funny show. It had nothing to do with racism or anything like that, so it's kind of a bummer that show got taken off the air or taken off reruns, but you know what? It's just today's society. So this is a Mad Max version of it that I designed in a video game, and as a small little model car. Some of you guys might remember a while back I had this exact same thing as a small model car. So I wanted to go ahead and make it a slightly bigger scaled version, and this is exactly what this is. So this is basically how the thing looks like in the video game. It's just a beat up frickin' Mad Max style Dukes of Hazzard car. And then the kill switch is on that side. That turns on some of the LEDs, and then the official switch turns on the remaining ones. So the tail lights actually look really good. For the most part, they look better off camera than they do on camera, because they don't highlight the actual individual LEDs like they do here. And then, whoops. Okay. Well, I'm glad I looked at that. It looks like this one is dying. Looks like it's trying to die. Oh, well, that sucks. So, hey, adds to the Mad Max quality. But anyway, the headlights are actually relatively bright, especially going down a dark hallway, which is one thing that me and my siblings absolutely love to do with these things. It's, oh, there it goes. Sort of. Is take these things down a dark hallway with the headlights actually being headlights. It's real fun to do that. So, and then it has same thing as the Trans Am. It's got the actual light up turn signals. They don't actually flash unless you signal for it to go to police mode, because the light kit has a police mode. But the actual LED kit, they only have the white and red LEDs. They do not have these two yellow ones or these four red ones. So that's why if I hit the kill switch and turn the kill switch back off, only 4 of the LED lights come on instead of the entire system. So, and then that's when that whole kill switch, or that other switch, comes into place. So, and, you know, I even did a custom-made grill guard that resembles the original cars, or original General Lee's grill guard, since the video game can't have that for some reason. So that's essentially what this is supposed to be. So, anyway, now finally on to the Batmobile. Okay, so here's the Robert Pattinson Batmobile. Now, this is the one that pops wheelies. Unfortunately, though, while I was modifying all this stuff to give it these LED lights, the wheelie function stopped working, so I just removed the entire wheelie arm altogether. But it still does kind of work, so when I hit the button, it does move faster, but that doesn't it doesn't pop wheelies, unfortunately, like it used to. But that's also because it's just so heavy that the arm just could not handle it. Because I had a lot of weight to this thing. I don't know if you can tell just by looking at it, but it got a lot of weight. It got 3 whole batteries right there in just terms of weight. And that's not including all the other stuff that's inside here as well. So this thing got really heavy in between the time I started working on it and the time I actually finished it. So, real quick, right off the bat, it's a standard Robert Pattinson Batmobile. The Turbo Boost or whatever edition where it would pop wheelies. Obviously, that's what this hole was for. But it felt so plain. And like, every time I would use this to like scare my dog or our cats or whatever, I always, or like, you know, kind of jokingly play with them. It just, I don't know, it just always looks so plain. Like, all of this stuff was just all like that same matte silver finished color, and that same thing, all of this was like a dark gray color, and it didn't look right. So I just went ahead and detailed everything out as best as I could, trying to mimic the original car, and just to prove that this is a RC car. There you go. So obviously you turn the switch on, the flame comes on, tells you the car's on. Charging port right there to charge the batteries. And then underneath here is the main switch. So then you have the tail lights that look very reminiscent to the Robert Pattinson's tail lights. There are 3 spots here, 1 LED to give it that effect. Hot glue diffuses the light to spread it, so it gives it that nice clean look. And then my favorite part is the front of it. The front of it, I actually painstakingly cut out every single notch onto the hood from reference photos that I could tell where LEDs or where light was supposed to shine through, to give it the red LEDs behind it, and same thing on the front of it. So this has all been painstakingly cut out. All that whole grill mesh was cut out. Everything on the hood was cut out. Everything on the long side here was cut out. So that way it looked like it's supposed to. And this is almost that's almost exactly how it's supposed to look like in the movie. So I do need to fix this LED's placement on this side because it's not super bright, but you can tell what it looks like or it's supposed to look like on camera. So this is supposed to be here, and then that's supposed to be here. Eventually I'm going to add 2 LEDs, so that way they're both equally bright, and go from there. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just before anybody asks, no, I am not going to show you guys how to do this because it was a pain in the ass the first time. And all you need to do is you need to have parental supervision if you're underage to use any sharp tools or whatever, so that way you can go ahead and do these type of modifications if you choose to do that far. But if you want to do it, all you need are LEDs, a battery pack, and a battery. That's pretty much it. That's all you need if you're just going to simply modify something like this to do, you know, basically that type of transformation. But if you're going to do a full-on, you know, RC car, I guess, rebuild, then it's a little bit different because you want to make sure that you have all your switches and stuff worked, all your LEDs and stuff working. And then if you're going to do a complete shell transfer, then you just need to make sure that you have the right shell, the right wheel, I guess wheelbase space, so that way, you know, you don't, if you need to cut off a section back here or cut off a section up front here, you know what to do. and hopefully the wheelbase will be the same depending on what kind of car you choose to modify. It's extremely easy to do. It is a little bit time consuming, but it is easy. As far as the Batmobile upgrade, there's no beating around the bush. This thing was a bitch. This was a humongous pain in the ass to make this car look just like this. It was definitely fun. So actually, if you want to get really technical, under the hood are three, I repeat, three red LEDs that are about literally, no joke, that big, alongside right back here to shine this way, and then there are two smaller ones up front here. So 5 red LEDs to give this hood effect, and it looks really great. I actually really do like how the hood of this does look very reminiscent to the movie. And then you pair that up with the blue flame LED while it's turned on, just makes the whole thing look so much cooler. So like I said, anybody can do this. It's not that hard. You just have to have a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, and yeah. So let me know what you guys think of this. If you guys like this video, please let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to do more stuff like this in the future. If you guys did not like this video, again, let me know down in the comments, and I'll try to not do other videos like this in the future. And if you want to know how to do, a RC conversion that's kind of like this, let me know, and I will do a video about that at some point in the future. And I will show you guys step by step on how to do something exactly like this. It's super easy. It just takes a little bit of time and a lot of patience. So anyway, thank you guys again for watching, and I'll catch you guys all next time. Bye.